Hi everyone, Joe Vitale, American Retirement Advisors with the Gradient Investments weekly talking points for the week ending October 1st, 2021. I'm sorry I was out of the office last week in Minnesota with Gradient Investments going over market strategies and learned a lot. Looking forward to sharing some of that. But let's talk about what's happening in stocks right now. So all major equity indices were down last week as investors were concerned with the Chinese Evergrande issues and its potential to influence other markets together with global supply problems and rising energy costs. We're going to see a lot of energy things happening all different places, so don't be surprised about that. Now, these issues along with rising interest rates reduce the appetite for risk. So the S&P was down 2.19%, the Russell 2000 eased 0.24%, the Nasdaq dropped 3.19%. Now the international developed markets, which is the EFA, fell 3.11%, and the MSCI lost 1.4%. Fixed income, the yield curve steepened last week with the 2-year rate on Treasury issues declined 2 basis points, while the 10-year and the 30-year rose by 1 to 5 basis points. Respectfully, and the 10-year rate finished the week at 1.48. Mortgage rates on a 30-year loan were unchanged at 3.1. So we're seeing a lot of different things where we talk about positive market value adjustments, which is happening, where interest rates, when they stay low, the positive market value adjustments is good, but when rates go up, we have a negative market value adjustment. Only comes true sometimes on annuities. Some people are talking about, hey, should I get out of this annuity or is it opportunistic right now? Sometimes it is, depending on what's happening with interest rates. Sometimes it absolutely makes no sense at all. Okay, let's talk about some commodities. Oil prices have moved up nearly to a 3-year high in advance of today's of the OPEC meeting, so the production of oil producing countries. Rising demand as global economies gear back together with last week. Blackouts in China are occurring as oil supplies from the Gulf Coast have been cut due to Hurricane Ida. West Texas crude oil finished up at 75.88 cents a barrel, up 2.5% for the week, and 56% higher year to date, which makes absolutely no sense, but I'll stop there. Talk about economic data. Real gross domestic product and measure economic growth activity grew at an annual rate of 6.7% last quarter, which is a tick higher than the previous reported second quarter growth and higher than the first quarter of 6.3%. Now, the upward revisions to the June quarter's economic growth reflect several factors, including higher spending in services led by restaurants and hotels. People are finally getting out. They want to travel more, right? I mean, everybody's trying to get out there. Consumer inflation remained elevated in September with a year-over-year rate at 4.3%, the highest level in 30 years and a tick higher than the previous month. Remember, we talked about transitory inflation. Is it transitory? Is it not transitory? Will it stay? Some of it is going to be transitory once the supply and demand get in order, but some of it is here to stay. We have to understand that. We're going to see higher inflation right now. Personal consumption expenditures, excluding volatile food and energy, rose 3.6% year over year, also a 30-year high. Additionally, personal savings as a percentage of disposable personal income was 9.4. We have more personal savings right now. Why? Everybody's been getting all this money coming in. Let's talk about some company news. Dollar Tree, which is a Core Select and Contrarian holding, announced it would begin pricing items above their $1 mark in an attempt to pass on rising costs. Now, the board also announced an increase in its share purchase authorization to a total of $2.5 billion. Shares rose almost 16% last week. Merck, which is a G50 holding, shares rose 10.6% for the week after announcing that a study finds that the pill, whatever, monopiravir, proved to significantly reduce the risk of hospitalizations or death from COVID-19 patients with moderate to severe symptoms. So the first treatment of its kind, I guess it's good news, right? So Merck plans to submit an application for emergency use authorization to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration as soon as possible, along with other worldwide applications. Major oil producers, including Energy Sector Strategy Holdings, BP, ConocoPhillips, ExxonMobil, and some of which are also held in the G50 and Core Select, rose 5 to 8% last week on the outlook for more constrained supply of energy. So commodity, and so remember, we are long. Okay, that's it. That's it for our summary. Now remember, this is the one thing I want to let everybody know. We are long-term investors. Many of our strategies have income strategies built in, regardless of market volatility. So a lot of people are saying, Joe, wait a minute, what's the market doing? You know, I'm not up like I should be. What's happening? What should I do? Should I pull back? We've seen this before. We have volatility right now. Historically, September has been one of the worst months ever in the year. So we see this. We're also seeing everybody's trying to get their footing right now. Inflation is up. All these things are going on. Regardless, the one thing we always say is, how are you allocated? We have to stay properly allocated to make sure you have good growth money, good income money, good safety money, and that's how we built your portfolio for that very purpose. We are still, many of our portfolios are up 10 to 15% year to date, regardless of where we are right now. So stay the course. Remember, we're going to keep tweaking as we go. We'll keep having these conversations, but we want to make sure that you understand we're here for you. Anything you need to give us a call. And thank you for being part of our ARA family. If you need to get a hold of us, 855-756-5700, or visit us at aradvisorsinc.com. God bless you. Have a great week. We'll see you next video.